You can leave him solo. Very reliable type of player.
Well, while we wait, we should remind you guys, of course, and don't forget, Launders, that you can use that promo code below the channel on Twitch. I think they match everything you put in up to 1,000.
Yeah, that's Counterpit. If you go to Vulcan.com, they will match your stake 1 for 1 if you use the promo code.
Yeah, so head over there, and of course, we'll just take a quick peek at. This is a practice league that we're in, but we've already gotten bonuses coming in from our practice league just from having a daily login. So you'll get that, which allows for buy-ins into the money leagues. 3 days in a row is what we got. So if we continue to go 7 days, we'll get an additional. 14 days, we get additional. So just by logging in, you're winning money. And we've got 6 cents that have been added for a free league practice league. That doesn't sound like a lot, but there's so many friggin' leagues that if you did every single practice league, you could make like $5 a day probably, which adds up quickly over time, and then you can start getting into some leagues for free and potentially win real money off that. So that's pretty cool. The team that we picked was Victor, who we spoke a lot about. Nex, NKL, Dennis. So Dennis we have in action today. Nex as well, and NKL. Chris J, he's also there. Nasu's not going to be playing today either. There's Innocent or Michu. They're obviously, and Michi was our shot caller for the 25% increase. And of course, if you try and update team right now after the league's live, it doesn't let you. So you basically get one chance to do things right. And that's the team we went with. It wasn't the hottest team. In fact, there was some people that had like 6 players in all over 100. We had about a pretty good average. We can take a look actually at our team. Next had us 160 on the last day points, 129. Actually, we're looking pretty good based on that because Dennis had 129, although he's not. I don't know. I want to say he's not going to do that again today. For some reason, I just feel like the consistent and passive play from GPlay might catch him out, but it's Chris J that I expect more from, who we did have, and he was actually the off one last time at 68.7 points. So that might be
Right, you pick the
opposite
right game
today.
with Chris J, you get the 30 kills, and hopefully with Dennis, you get the 20 each time, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, that's the thing. If these two can play consistent together, that's a safe bet to have. Like that's so. This is a conservative play. Obviously, by having these, we're not going to have, everyone that's going to frag, but we get one of the two, and I can't imagine a game if both of those guys are off. Mousesports lose. That's the way it's going to go. So
Hmm.
having one of the two of those guys, I think it's a pretty safe bet that one of them is going to perform for us. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff going on. You click the lobby button. As I said, there's tons of practice leagues. This is just Counter Strike, and this is how many leagues. Lots of CEVO stuff, by the way, Launders. You'd be
Ooh, Sivo.
proud to know. Yeah, and then I mean, this is just craziness. There's all these going on right now. Your buy-ins listed over here. We can actually use our bonus money that we got to get in. This is the new system they've added, and then entry fee. Yeah, so these ones are all real leagues. Prize pool though, look at that, $340. Yeah, here's what it is. Contest begins in 2 days. Salary cap, as always, is $10,000. That's how you pick the complexion of your team. And again, if you use that counter pick code, they'll match you. And if you go to live tab, same thing. Well, we can check out what's going on. So here's Counter Strike right now. Gfinity's on, so Gfinity's in the list. You want to see us? Let's go see us. There's us, showing us. How appropriate is that?
Hi, Mom.
Oh, there's a trivia now to start the game too. That's super cool. So they've added some new features in the last day or two, so you can do some trivia and get additional points. Man, there's so much ways to make money on this site. It's crazy.
So you can like guess how tall Chris J is?
I didn't see that as a question, but I think he's 5'8". So 168 centimeters, I think, is what that works out to. I don't know the centimeters thing that well.
Wow, you've been in Europe too long.
I know,
Measuring in
right, man?
centimeters.
Everyone was asking me like, "How tall are you?" And I was like, "I think I'm 178 or 72. I don't know which." I seem to remember that's what my doctor measuring me at. But yeah, I mean, you can check out our last results as well. And we got this bonus money just for participating, despite that we finished like, yeah, we're currently ranked, we were ranked 34th, 100th overall in one, and 1200th, 30th. So obviously, we're okay casters, but not good predictors.
Hmm.
This has nothing to do with you, obviously. You weren't
I
in
mean,
here.
that's just a matter of. I mean, it wouldn't matter because Caster's curse, man. Like you're never gonna be a good predictor. It's just how it goes.
Oh,
In a
exactly.
round, you're never gonna pick the guy who gets the kill, and with that being said, you'll never pick the guy who wins the match. All you can do is follow the action
That's what we
with the
do.
Caster's curse.
And speaking of action, the players are in the server. We're starting on Overpass. I believe we go to Inferno second. And then if required, we will go to Dust 2. And I think Overpass, if I'm not mistaken, was the choice of Nows, but I'll just double check on that.
Oh, they would 100% like to play Overpass. They picked it yesterday, so I wouldn't put it past them. I think if they want to play Mirage, it would favor both teams. if that were the case, but
Yeah, they picked mouse. Or sorry, mouse picked overpass, so no surprise there.
yeah,
Bot done. Oh god, bot done. We gotta report this guy for hacking. He was spin botting right there. It
he's
won't
got
let
a
me.
hyper beast.
Does he actually? Did bot Don pick up a hyper beast?
He dropped it for the PTK BDPs.
Of course. That's the funny thing with bots. Like I've done some offline stuff with bots on like Crown and stuff just to check out the map. And I'll like throw a bot a gun. I'll be like, oh here, you can have my AK. And then he'll just be like, no, I'm gonna rebuy whatever I was defaulted to buy. And here's my sweet Tech 9. Like, okay, bot. You know nothing.
Bots know their place, man. They drop the real people.
Plebs.
So rude.
Absolute plebs. But yeah, no, we'll see how it goes. I think Overpass does actually reward the super aggressive defensive. I mean, it is an aggro defensive map by default.
Yes.
So I think it absolutely rewards the new lineup for mousesports. Because if ChrisJ can get his op rolling toward the bathrooms, they're out at long, and Dennis actually, by default, is already going to be in a support position. Now we've got two players in a map that favors their style. I think this is definitely a map that, yeah, you're right. I'm not surprised at all they picked this, because just thinking about that in theory, that definitely favors their style.
No, that's 100% what's interesting about Overpass as a map is this aggressive defensive defensive positions that you're talking about, because at A site you're going to want to push up to bathrooms, and it's really standard to take control of long, push up to bathrooms to have someone support, push down the stairs and get control of that area, even though you're like way out in the open, not near a bomb site. This is like one map where that's super crucial and not even that difficult to hold, because spawns allow you to get there without taking any damage. And then the same thing goes on at B. You can push the water, or you can just hold long B off and cut that whole lane off with your op, cut the map in half, and get all that information. And a map that's going to have really thorough CT setups with proper support, 2 or 3 people knowing exactly what they're watching, you can have these aggressive setups and still be playing perfectly standard and not risking the round at all.
Well, we'll get the knife going, decide who's going to start out on which side. Germany versus Bulgaria, mousesports with their new lineup against a GPlay team that's been hot as of late. I have to say they've looked quite impressive. This will be a decent matchup regardless. And like I say, GPlay, if they can take down Mouse, they essentially beat half the Penta that was invited to the league. So it would be pretty cool to see.
Oh, I mean,
Look
yeah.
at this choke point. They're all going to get trapped inside this. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. They're just going to run back and hide.
They're not falling for this.
You may say he's a dreamer, but he's not. I think that was dinner for schmucks. Where are they?
I feel like GPlay... Oh, he's 1 away from winning each of these fights.
Yeah, but he's also 1 away from dying, and that's what Next does.
I guess, well, I'm a glass half full guy
Run,
then.
Christian. Aw, you are the glass half full guy. You're so positive, Launders. It's adorable. So here we go. We get things rolling right away, and mousesports, they get the start on CT. We get to already see this aggressive defense come into play, whereas GPlay have to do it the hard way on this map. And of course, there are some changes in the map. I mean, it's not that recent anyone. I think anyone knows now, but Na'Vi, the way they play it, VP, the way they play it, you don't even have to really get entry kills on A. Just kill that one aggressive player, smoke off the 2 visible spots from, you know, the middle of the site, essentially truck to bomb box and bomb box over to the bank truck on the left side, and you can plant for free and then get post plant. So it does favor you a little bit, but you have to take out that aggressive player. That's the key. And right now that aggressive player is Dennis, who's already found Dreamer. So good push up by him. Next now takes down Victor. Dennis does get caught off in the end by NKL. But Nex responds back into him, so one to support the other. Bubble, nice shot on Chris J. This will open up the pinch onto Nex. So now they're caught out. They go back to 2-on-2, and they have to rotate over Speedy, though. Look at this. They don't stop. This is relentless aggression, and this is what Penta was known for. Now it's the Mouse team that's going to be the guys on the charge, and Gobby closes off the second player. So Mouse do get the pistol round and non-stop aggression. That all came down at mid. That wasn't even anywhere near the bomb sites.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly how you need to view that round. There's a standard push-up in the bathrooms. We had the T players come out into the yard knowing that this is what was going to happen most likely. People not typically playing passive in the sites, and then taking all these duels and then losing. It came close. Bubble got 2 frags, but ultimately the shooting was in favor of mousesports, and that's going to be key.
KO with the Tech 9. Bubble, again, pushing up toward long. Chris J's the one that has to be so careful as he's already flashed and stuck inside the bathroom, and Bubble finds him, but it's passive this time from Dennis, and this is just a response simply from having out rifles to work with. By the way, Bubble went immediately onto an MP9.
Can you blame him though?
No, not at all. Dennis is going to find Bubble, though, so that MP9 won't go any further. Actually, he picked that up. My mistake. He picked that up from Chris J in the bathroom. So he started that with a Tech 9. So that's how we got that free gun. So that's why SMG out, not a huge investment to lose. Rifle plays passive. Dennis gets caught, though, but Rifle plays passive so as not to give up weapons. But now they need to be a little careful because Spy Leader does have that bomb on the inside of the boxes. That's the free plant position, but they don't have smokes out to cover the retake, and Speedy's going to make haste of that work and that mistake, rather. Long rotation from Gobby. Speedy finds Dreamer waiting in the corner. Gobby on the flank, and KL down, but Victor still alive. Not so well. He's got 14, and that's going to be all he can possibly hope for. And the defuse already in place. Kid out. Actually, no kid on next, the one that's defusing, but kid out on Gobby, so they could have switched that over. They had plenty of time regardless.
Yeah, it was a huge victory for GPlay, who were able to open up round with an early pick, as you mentioned, killing Chris J in the bathroom. And they did spend a lot of money on that round, but they also got the plant down. They got 3 players down, did the economic damage, and are very close to keeping mousesports on the next round save if they're able to win. And are actually going to come out with a bye right now, which is going to mean a Tech 9 and 4 Galils. Something you don't really see too often after forcing up on the second round and losing.
NKL pushing in through the main sewage pipe toward courtyard. Here they come into the site, checking to the left side. There is a player down toward pit. They need to spot him quickly. And Bubble, nice response onto Speedy. Actually almost did some damage onto his teammate, but his teammate was NKL, and now he'll find his kill over the top. Gobby has nowhere to go. Next, he's the only other one that's still in a good position. He goes aggressive on this retake, jumping down. Does catch NKL off guard because no one was peeking that window. And now Chris J comes over with the scout. He's going to find Bubble through the edge of the plywood. Brings it back to the advantage for mousesports. They finally have a case in the round, and with Dennis on that M4, he'll get the kill. Now they just have to get on the defuse, but he's not going to be able to do it yet because they are pushing through on it, and they still have time, so he doesn't have to hold that. More efficient to stay alive, and that's exactly what he does.
It looked like it was going to be a very difficult retake. Next came out and got 3 frags. I mean, that was hugely important for mousesports, and he made it look simple. Jumping in a pit, taking that aggressive move, and trying to get in GPlay's face before they got set up an afterplant. It ended up working out beautifully. Chris Ray obviously getting that kill in the spam box on the site was huge as well. GPlay once again did get a kit and are actually going to go with another buy. So after losing a pistol and the last 2 rounds, are buying on each of them. That's quite surprising.
Speedy, good flash to peek Monster. Does make good work of Bubble, but Victor was there to slide back out and get the trade. But look at Dennis, the aggression from him. It never stops. He's in behind NKL. Gobby. He's on the front side of the Monster, and he's a monster himself, picking up 2. And that's the first gun. That's pretty impressive stuff right there from mousesports, who, unsurprisingly, this map favors their style. We said that time and time again, and so far that's been the exact case.
Yeah, so our GPlay known to slow it down on the T side. So we've seen some aggression, and it's usually because they don't have many nades, and you don't want to spend too much time just walking around if you don't have many nades to execute, throw fakes and stuff like that. So I wonder if they're going to take another full buy round slowly, or if they're just going to continue to buy light most of the time. They feel pretty comfortable doing so.
Nice shot by Dennis, takes down NKL. But there's your response. They overwhelmed Dennis this time. And Nex was in a position to support, but he wasn't quite close enough. And now that he has the call from his teammate, there was 3. He falls back, but look at Speedy. He pops out to support Nex in turn. So it's 1, then 2. It's a 3-man slide, essentially. And this leaves Dreamer all by himself.
Yeah, it's kind of an awkward position. He only got a P250. Bomb's not down, but he does find a pick instantly.
It counts to get at least a gun down, but economy is vastly surmounting on this CT side. Chris J, 10-1, he'll buy back just a little bit, but everyone else pretty high. The only one that's low is actually Speedy, who's been caught off a few times, but overall this is a huge win right now for them.
Yeah, I mean, you can force the buybacks as much as you want, but ultimately, without a round on the board, that's not going to matter. I mean, you're only going to want to put them in a position where if you win a round, then maybe they'll have to save, or if you win 2. But at this point, mousesports are really stacking. And we got a forward push at long. Chris J is going to get an op. Who's so close to that player, too.
That's the crazy thing with Chris J. He does this time and time again. Switches it over to the CZ 75, which he's known for using his Tech 9 more aggressively than most people use their AK. In fact, he prefers it to the AK up close, but he doesn't have it on the CT side, so that doesn't bode well. He does get Spy Leader down to 5 HP, and as a result, Speedy comes up, takes Dreamer, and now they're extremely weak on the A side. Spy Leader is the bomb too, so super low HP player holding the bomb doesn't necessarily bode well.
Yeah, we got NKL anchoring the other site here. Over at water, I might look for some information and try to throw something, but ultimately they're going to have to group up. The issue is that Spy Leader is so low and doesn't have an op that they're going to have to look for their teammates to make a play. And here's NKL just walking lower B right now. No one is spotting him, so he might have a good opportunity, but spotting that angle passive.
Yeah, Gob just saw him over the top, so now he's pretty much in a tight bind. He's got 2 players in pit. Does get the first on Speedy. That was the player I thought that would be more subtle to spot out because he knows Gob's already down there. Gob was the first guy to take the shot, so he should be able to get a read on this. The problem is there's the rotation from Dennis already in window, and Nex has arrived on the scene, who very quickly makes work of NKL. Has to be set on that peak. But meanwhile, bomb's all gone A. It was a complete fake, and here's the smoke out for Spy Leader. If they can secure this post plant back by bathroom, which is exactly what they're doing, they give themselves a bit of a chance. They just have to watch her flank, but as we could already see from the overlay, it's not coming from that direction. This nade, though, that's going to bounce. There's nowhere. Oh, there is somewhere to hide. It's forward, but unfortunately, there's bullets in that direction for Victor. A nice shot by Gob, closing the round off. This will make it 6 straight money bonus firmly in effect now for the T side, and that's going to help because look at that. Just jumps them right up over the mark. They'll be able to buy back into this round, and actually with an ops if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, NKL did make that play at B. He got a pick when Gob B was the one who actually spotted him, so it was surprising to me, too, that he was able to do it. But because he was able to make that play, it gave him the opportunity to plant the bomb, and that's the only reason that we're seeing them buy right now, most likely. Actually, they've got quite a bit of extra money, but ultimately, that was a really close 3v5. I think if they didn't just give up that second pick to speedy up the stairs, they would have had a much better chance in the round.
Yeah, they give themselves 5 AKs, which actually means they'll be able to buy deeper later. If they overinvest in the op, it does mean that the money bonus is going to actually still be there, but not have the same effect. Either way, though, it's the point in time when you just need to get rounds. And Dennis, again, getting aggressive. They hold this choke point at the stairwell. It's double aggression as well, as we can see, as Nex is also up there, as Chris J's in the bathrooms. But the key thing about this is Dreamer, Bubble, Victor, they've started to work down long A, and they've actually gone past Chris J. He does fall back to the site just now, but they need to rotate back over quickly because if Chris is the only one there and he gets caught, remember, you don't even necessarily need entries to get a bomb plant down. If he gets caught, it means the rotations have to be swift. As Chris makes quick work, though, really quick. And there's the third. He pops back out. He's so aggressive on these quick angles. He's so much better in close, tight combat, in my opinion, than even the long shots.
Yeah, nerves of steel for sure. I mean, he was a solo man on the site. Super close to long, ended up getting 3 frags, 3 perfect peaks. I mean, he's speaking them as if he had a silencer or something. I had no idea where he was going to come from. That was the round quickly going the way of mousesports. I mean, that was extremely dominant. We've seen GPlay make bigger waves in previous round. That was the only round where mousesports were able to keep 5 alive. I think we need like 3-4 rounds with GPlay. I mean, we've seen overpass BT side, and I'm sure you have as well.
Oh, 100%. So, it can definitely work. I mean, executions on B are totally possible. There's a lot of angles you have to check, but again, with smokes you can get in. Oh, Dreamer.
Wow.
Good play. Knows they've been aggressive on the stairwell in the past. Catches Dennis this time because I already highlighted it was a 3-man push toward A, and Chris J went long this time just to make sure they couldn't get behind like they did, even though he made up for it in the site. But that was a huge kill from Dreamer.
Yeah, this is the first time on this map that GPlay have opened up with an opening pick.
Yeah, that is true. This is actually the entire first time. You're dead right. Although Speedy catches Victor this time. And in the site they go. Dreamer. Now they're making good work. They've got full execution onto B. Just have to watch for this rotation, but Bubble's already in position to get the bomb down. And just to go back to finish the point, A's even more T-sided than it used to be. It's still cluttered, but you're dead right. It can be T-sided. So this is GPlay having to make up for lost ground. Chris J coming around from the back. Catches Spy Leader. And NKL's going for a massive rotation as a result of this to try and catch Chris J off without opening up Squeaky and giving his position away. But Darren's already inside the site. He's going to make a quick look toward Dreamer, who's on sandbags. But NKL still getting in good position. Chris J's going to have no idea this is coming. And if he can get there quick enough, he'll find them before he gets on the defuse. And as Nex goes for it, NKL does take Chris J down. And GPlay getting around to their name. It's 7-1. It's a little bit late, but resetting the money bonus. They pretty much have to win this next one.
Yeah, they've got to. They've only saved 3 rebuys, so that means that if they wanted to force up next round and they lost this, it would be on the back of Tech 9s and just armor. But that came down to pretty close retake there. Chris actually whiffed a molly, and if they had smoked those players off of Cat, if it would have been possibly a different story, but GPlay played it well and triple peaked all at once. I was worried for them, though. Chris J and Nex, 2 players I would definitely want to have in any retake situation.
Frag distribution's actually reasonably close. No one's over double digits yet. Speedy's on 9, 7-7 next Dennis. 8-6. So there is a slight lead for Mouse, but the rest of those GPlay guys are around 5 kills apiece, so they're not that far behind, which tells you pretty much that the rounds have been close. I mean, aside from the previous round, 2 rounds ago, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They've had decent kills in all of them.
Yeah, and that's just a testament to how many trades are being won by mousesports, including like all those opening frags. This time we're gonna have more of a focus towards aggressive B. Gob's not gonna let someone walk in this time, and this spot can be really powerful. We had them flash him, but he was able to get one last round.
And again, they've actually pushed out on B this time, but they haven't gone beyond the bathrooms and into the stairwell. So they don't have a full read on the setup, but they know no one's coming A, so Chris J is already starting to rotate back around in the stairs. In fact, he heads toward heaven at B, which is the right place to be with that op. And Speedy, actually, he's the one with the op, my mistake, but Chris J's still up above. Speedy's the one with the op, and he makes good work of it from Toxic. One peek at Monster, a second on Sandbags. Nobody checks the angle because no one gets deep enough to do so. NKL, though, good making up for it in lost ground. He'll catch off both Dennis and Nex rotating through. And again, that aggression's getting a little bit predictable from Mouse, but they've still got a massive lead, and they still have a huge lead in this round itself, as NKL now has to run away and save this AK. There are 2 players that can still buy, so if he saves this, which he is going to do, they're going to be in an okay position because Dreamer actually... Okay, so Dreamer could drop like a little as well, and Bubble's going to be able to buy out, so they should be able to force here still.
Yeah, they went
resetting that money bonus.
Yeah, so I imagine they might have to do one force up here. Yes, one dude with the Tech 9. That's not too bad. I mean, Tech 9's very good, but that was kind of a quiet execute at B. I don't know if you felt the same way. It was like, there's 3 players in the site. There was no smoke down on upper. When they came out of cat, there was the person standing at headshot that was Speedy. He wasn't blind, and he just stood there and took 3 shots. And it's like, if they want to do full execute, they've got to, cover the site in confusion. Lay down those mollies.
Yeah, they didn't find any entry kills. They didn't get anything at all when they came in. And you're right, there was no execution on nades. Dennis does catch Dreamer this time, but Chris J and Nex already taken down and out of the round. But then look at the aggression. It still continues. Oh, this could be a huge recovery play. Speedy. Dennis does go down. If he had hit that shot that much sooner, that would have just been like insulting. GPlay finally gets in position to take down the aggressive player in the flank, and then they still die. But look at this bomb. Speedy has it, and what a shot from him. Through the smoke. Vacation, please. Bubble, he did get into the A site, but he has to go back to recover this, and unfortunately that does give the advantage right now to Speedy. Molotov is well picked up off the corpse.
That was an insane play from him. He knew the bomb was down, he was going to get smoked out in a 2v1, they would just run A, and he had to just jump through that smoke and take that shot. And he just man-moded it.
That was huge man mode. I called Vac, of course, that prompts the chat, but that was actually just a really nice play. Good jump to get through the smoke and get the quick peek, rather quick no-scope. So good JW-style aggressive play with the op. Speedy waits for the angle, swaps to the AK that time, knows he's in close quarters. Smart play all around.
Well played. That was beautiful. I mean, you really just... Kills. You gotta have players like that, that just play off their intuition. It's like, you could play textbook and know that you're smoked out and that, oh yeah, you could just play this 2v1 and just pick the site that they're going to. Or you could just jump through right now, make sure they don't get the bomb, put yourself in a great 1v1 if you're able to hit this one insane shot, which you knew you had to do. I mean, who would do that with an op? That was pretty impressive.
And again, smart that he switched over. So double up setup this time. Speedy on B. Chris J on A, not playing as aggressive. I love this. He's just like going back and forth, waiting for someone to jump out. Dennis catches Spy Leader. That's important because that's the bomb. And this time they are forced back to saving because we saw they essentially forced last round. So super tight economy. Got B on a rotation. But Dennis isn't done. He's going to add his second kill to the round. Very low HP, but he'll still hold off with that M4. Nothing that Dreamer can do.
Yeah, tough. mousesports holding off that bathrooms area with laser beams, so that's tough to get by. And they got 2 ops now, so Dennis and Chris J. Ops are swapping hands. Speedy's like, yeah, I proved myself with the op already. I'm just going to pass it off to you. It's your turn to make a play, and I think Dennis is going to be playing B for him, so...
this is one of the first times we've seen a 3-man B stack at B. Oh, Chris J! Onto the bench, over into the party, makes a massive shot, and Victor runs through, has no idea he's there. This is where Chris shines. It really is. When he can get away with this aggressive stuff, this is when Chris J is at his best. In fact, this is when the only Chris J appears, in my opinion. When he plays passive, he doesn't play. So, awesome to see this working on overpass for them.
Oh my god, that was beautiful. I mean... No angle is a weird angle apparently because that was one of the toughest, and again with the 3K on the round is looking for a 4th and knows exactly where to look. Like
HLTV, Broncho, get in here, make a highlight of that one. Super aggressive to super passive. They had no answer for him.
I mean, mousesports have already put together a beautiful half. GPlay could put together 4 rounds and still not have enough on the new overpass. And it's at this point where they've had one round where they got into B and won the after plant, and 1 round where they got shut down and have had no success at A whatsoever. But are going to open it up with a B hit.
Yeah, they do get an entry this time. That's a lot better. Speedy gets back, but they trade him. And that's the first time they've gotten the trade onto the headshot position. And Goppy, now Dreamer, good job by him all around. So now they've got a full chance to work here. Nex has already been spotted on that flank from the player that was lurking back in Subway. So they'll be able to be aware of his position, but they still have Chris J to deal with him. What a quick scope. He walks around, slow movement speed, not scoped in, and still hits that first peak. Man, he is just like JW in a lot of ways in how he plays with that quick scoping angle. JW is another one that doesn't come around pre-scope. Next, though, does get back into one, and Chris J dropping to bubble. He'll just hold the spam and make Nex walk into it. So GPlay now have 2.
Yeah, that was really well played by Bubble, just holding that mouse one down. I thought he would get punished for the fact that Nex didn't want to peek directly into his angle, but he held that 30 bullet spray down all the way to the last drop there, and made it work, hit a nice headshot, and secured a round for GPlay. And that's 2 rounds at B, though. So the thing is that they don't have an option at the other side, and there's only 2 rounds left in the map. So if mousesports continually stacked B from here on out, all they would have to worry about is the A holds that they're already good at, and not anything else. So I like that GPlay here are splitting up the default, not just simply rushing B right off the bat because that's what works, but hopefully we'll work back into it.
Speedy knows he's gonna have company potentially pushing out Monster backside, so he plays a really conservative flash to hold that position. Smarts from him, and Chris J catching bubble makes it 12-2. Last round of the half, they'll force out on the T side, but look at the money they're working with. That's pre-buy for 1450 and 1400. That's I guess you could say dire.
Yeah, that's a goodwill money right there. They split up in that default, but then they lost all of those opening picks. I think it would have been in their best interest to go back into a full execute, but to just try to cause a rotate to A or hold people at A or make them play at least a 3-2, which is more standard. And because mousesports know they can stack it, they've had so much success.
They're changing up everything right now. That boost we haven't seen yet. We've seen constant aggression. They come around. They're already thinking about that stairwell push, and then they have the boost for the first time facing them. And Speedy comes around. He picks up 2. But mousesports looking very composed on overpass. This is really cool, and in fact, they have put a lot of work into this map. You said you saw them play yesterday. Bubble's going to get at least 1 in the round, but this is cool because a lot of teams don't put emphasis onto overpass, and now that they have, it gives them a really good chance in this sort of a depth position at tournaments where they're best of 3s vetoing system. It forces them to, I mean, even if the map doesn't come in, it's a free veto essentially, because now they can get another map in that they really enjoy. Dust 2, Mirage, anything along those lines.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, no, mousesports just looked really nuts on CG side overpass yesterday. I mean, again, it was versus Public Claire, and mousesports can bite off teams that are maybe even a little bit better than that, but at the same time, if you see a scoreline like this, I mean, this is good by any standard. GPlay, not a pushover team by any means.
Speedy already does spot that there is a player in Monster, or at least on the back bomb site of it. A spy leader is in this boost this time for GPlay. But Bomb is waiting toward bathrooms. They've already scouted out long, realized there's no one pushed up, and still rotate over. I'm not sure why that rotation call comes in. Look at this push up, though, from Dreamer. He's going to get caught. Now they definitely can go A. Now they have 1 player down. I don't think they spotted a boost on A. So that was interesting to fall off it really quickly, but now they don't have a rotation yet in position because there's been no read, and it's a really fast naked entry. They won't call for it fast enough. So Chris J getting a really quick kill with the Tech 9. Now he's going to swap over USP. Stays aggressive. There's actually a really awesome position you can use there behind the door that doesn't get checked. And if he had had time to get there, it could have been even more kills for Chris J. Dennis does catch Victor, and going for the knife, they'll get it. That's actually really cool to do. I mean, they've already got a huge lead in this game, but really cool to give him the economy early on. So now if he goes to SMG with that knife, imagine, but naturally he goes for an AK.
He definitely needed the money.
He could have hit. That would have been potential, like, if he goes SMG and gets 3 kills. Yeah, he could have hit potential 10K on round 4. Maybe even round 3 if he did that right.
We're setting records here at Counterpit League. Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, like, they went to stack A based on, like, no information whatsoever. They just were like, okay, let's just risk this stack, like, late into the round, because we feel like they typically go A, but mousesports were just giving them the world tour, running through bathrooms, down the stairs, out B, and Speedy just holding that angle, waiting, and making sure that no one pushed B and actually caught someone off guard, got that information, and gave him a sight.
3-3 though, and they did give up an AK. Chris J. Oh, I take it back. It's 4. That overlay always confuses me when someone doesn't have health, but Chris J is essentially on 3 HP. He's got to be really careful when they go in. They do get the bomb down. Smoke's off, but Neck's already out of it. Now it's down to 3-3. Brought back immediately, though, is Gob. He catches NKL. Chris J's just going to play passive. Wait this out as Dreamer comes in, though, and Gobby gets back into it, but Vicar pulls us back to a one-on-one, and now it becomes a factor that Chris J only has that 3 HP because he goes for the peak, and GPlay find themselves an eco with only 1 AK picked up on the entry. Good work from them this time.
Yeah, I'm surprised how well that worked out for them. I mean, was that a full eco? Do we even have armor on Victor? Yeah, we do, actually. So they did spend a little bit of money to try and win here, and it only makes sense.
So, okay, a bit of a force, but a pistol eco, or at least, you know, a second round force, I call that an eco.
Yeah.
I guess naturally. It's not in the situation.
Still low on funds, though, and that's what we're trying to imply here. But ultimately, it's going to be really good for them. I mean, it only makes sense, right? You're down 14-3. You're on your last limbs. You're not winning rounds with rifles, so why does it even matter? Instead, they have to focus on their setups and play together and hope to just get the favorable trades, and they did that. So they're going to have another chance here. mousesports going off with a similar strategy to their pistol, doing it on a counter force buy, which we see all too often these days.
Next, pushing forward in bathroom. Keep in mind we go to Inferno next, and Inferno naturally, just by the way the map is designed, doesn't really allow for super aggressive CT play. Sure, you can get banana control that way, but it doesn't let you push out like they love to do on Mouse's side. So that's actually a really good pick from GPlay to bring that into the pool, because mousesports aren't really amazing on it. And hopefully for them, this passive style, it could actually reward. So it's almost like a stark contrast to what we're seeing in this game. And maybe they can force a third map on it.
You think if we saw CT side first for GPlay, they would have had a much better showing?
It's hard to read. Obviously, right now, the execution's still coming in from mousesports, and it's coming in quite swift. They'll get this bomb plant down. But we're not going to have enough time to really see. Unless they make a massive comeback here, unless they can pull this off, then I would say, yeah, it would have made a huge difference. Then it puts a lot more pressure on mousesports. But
sometimes you play differently when you're so down in round.
Yeah, exactly, totally. Especially if mousesports is super aggressive, they know there's a risk in that. If they're down, maybe that changes their whole thought process. But they had run of the mill essentially, and GPlay good retake this time. They'll get this bomb defusal, so it works out well. Maybe, I mean, sure. Maybe if they start, like I say, if they start to build up rounds here, then sure, you could absolutely make that case.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have another opportunity to win. I mean, as long as the bomb goes down, mousesports I think will feel like they're within one of buying all the time. And yeah, supremely confident already. Going with half armor, I mean, they've given up a couple AKs, so I guess that makes sense. And Chris J with a scout, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to look for a head here. It's all the same when you shoot someone in the head with a scout. It's a very cheap op.
Cheap op. And it's got so much more movement speed and mechanics with the jump.
You scope and it looks like you're just running faster.
Sonic.
Chris J with the Sonic hat.
Is that actually a Sonic hat?
I don't know why I said that, to be honest.
I was like, really? I'm not recognizing the design.
It's like a hedgehog.
It's got this cool, crazy, spiky line thing going on that in the picture maybe could be Sonic's hair.
You see
go
it?
with it. It's a Sonic hat. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it.
He's got like those speed glasses too, like when you're rollerblading.
Aerodynamic.
Am I reaching?
Yeah. From your eyes. You're reaching a bit, but we'll go with it. It's all good. It's Sonic. Chris J, now known as Sonic, HLTV confirmed.
He's probably got like tape on his nipples too, so they don't chafe when he's speedrunning.
Okay, now you're reaching.
All right, I'm reaching now.
Chris J looking for the entry, using this scout this time. There's a little bit of damage done to Nex, but so far, not much can be made of it. It's really passive all the way around. Spy Leader's actually taking more damage. Oh, that's unfortunate because Gabi did a little bit of damage to Nex before he drops, but they do find the entry. Speedy gets one, Gabi gets another. Chris J is going to add now with that scout. Fortunately, they get Speedy waiting and lurking on the B site, and NKL now realizes that he was just a lurk player. Low HP for Chris J and Gabi. No head armor for Chris J, but on 13 it wouldn't make a difference anyway. Oh, watch out. They're going to actually come toward Chris J if he pukes out at the right time. Good play. Good read by NKL. So he does check the angle, doesn't get too crazy going aggressive on this retake, but Dennis finding one, lines up the second. Can he get the shot? Not yet. And NKL pops back out with the Tech 9, gets it down to a one-on-one. Gabi low HP. This Tech 9 could actually work off. Faking for the bomb plant. But Gabi's been heard. He's been found out, but he still manages to get that shot. That's impressive stuff because as soon as he gave that step up to look at the bomb plant, it was almost an advantage for the Tech 9, and now we're on match point for the Germans.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he played that to the point where GPlay had no other play but to try and stick that bomb, and he didn't let that happen. So now they're knocking on the door of winning, and I'm not sure if GPlay stand a chance now. They're going to be back on an eco. They might thrive in these situations. We have seen them win one so far this match, but the total of 4 rounds, I'm sure mousesports feel like they can do whatever they want. And an entry into B is going to be really tough. This is not what Dreamer wanted to see.
Hello, Tech 9, or P90 rather. Tech 9, I'm so used to saying that now. They all have 9s in them. They're all easy guns. Victor Dreamer getting kills to at least make this interesting. They've pulled this back a little bit. In fact, they have the man advantage now. Dennis is only on 6 HP, so he has to be even more careful about his positional play.
Illuminati confirmed.
Wow, I like it. And there goes Dennis. So he has low HP. That does indicate that they've gotten into the site. And look at the surrounding play right now from GPlay. And staring down the sandbags. His spy leader spots up the fact that he crosses, and the CZ75 makes good use. Good work and a good kill. It's 15-5.
Dreamer dinked 3 people on that round. He had a huge round in B. I mean, he was solo man. No one was even close on a rotate. He got 2 frags, dinked the 3rd man. I mean, he did all the damage. It was very good from him. mousesports are actually on a Glock save here.
A Glock save. Full save. I mean, there's no they can give up rounds. It's not a big deal. They don't have to force. All they do then is start to throw away money that allows potential momentum to build for GPlay, and there's no need for that. So good swift execution from GPlay that time. Auto sniper, wow, spy leader, they're really going ham right now because they know they have to get back into it. He tossed that. Where did it go? Ah, look at that. It goes to bubble.
I mean, that's a good way to maintain a round lead, keep people alive. Like, it does so much for your economy when you have an op or auto sniper, because you're less likely to lose that op because of how fast they play, and you're also more likely to get kills, which keeps your teammates alive. And that's going to be really good for them. But they have to avoid getting entry, and are doing an okay job of it right now. NK getting jumped on, and Pit, though, does find 2 frags for free. That's pretty good, not bad. 3 alive for both teams.
Speedy, put the bomb down? Alright, there we go. I guess that's weird. I think he was trying. I wonder if there's actually a radius on the edge of that railing. You'd think he'd still be in the plant space at that point, but he's not. Apparently not. Regardless, Gabi catching spy leader with a passive play inside the water.
Maybe you forgot the code, man.
Chris J, he could have forgot the code. He will find Bubble Victor back into him, but it's down to a 2-on-1, and they just have to bait out the defuse. They'll spam through the smoke. The smoke's in decent position, and in fact, Speedy's going to get aggressive on the front. Yeah, there it is. He'll push through, and they'll take it 16-6. Very well done by the aggressive T side of mousesports. You could make a case. You could actually make the case. They only got 2 gun rounds.